This isn't just another video. It's a mission to revive a forgotten truth. It has been pushed aside by mainstream research. Yet, it holds the key to something far greater. I am talking about the magnetic Earth grid. This grid isn't just about energy lines. It's a universal connection linking ancient civilizations, unexplained phenomena, and our own consciousness into a larger, hidden system. For too long, this knowledge has faded into the background, but today, I'm here to bring it back into focus. Understanding the grid isn't just about looking at the past. It's about shaping the future of research, expanding human awareness, and unlocking the deeper mysteries of our world. Let's bring this knowledge back to light together. Hi everyone, my name is Thomas Vignol. I am author and researcher about UFOs and other topics related to consciousness. So first, let's start with the subject of today, the magnetic Earth grid, and give the definition of what it is. The magnetic Earth grid is an intricate geometric structure that underlies our planet, forming energy hotspots at precise locations. We will name them later. This grid consists as an icosahedron, a shape with 20 triangular faces, and a dodecahedron made up of 12 pentagonal faces. These forms aren't random, they reflect deep natural patterns present throughout the universe. So on the left you have the icosahedron, and on the right you have the dodecahedron. Two geometric patterns that we will find into our grid, and it's natural geometric patterns that happen in nature, such as the Fibonacci sequence and more. To illustrate that these patterns are found in nature, I want to give you an example, such as a virus. In this case, the adenovirus, I'm showing you the picture right now, is a virus with an icosahedral capsid, perfectly reflecting the geometry of the grid that happens naturally in something as small as a virus to our Earth. Isn't it incredible? And then another example, a quasi-crystal. A quasi-crystal, it's a crystal that can be found in nature. This one was found on a meteorite, which is even crazier. And this quasi-crystal obeys a mathematical order that resonates with the grid itself, with the Earth grid. So these are the examples for you to understand first how we map the Earth grid with what base. So you imagine that these crystals have a structure, even a virus, by itself. It's happening by nature, and our Earth is like a giant crystal, and we have the same patterns happening. That's how we can map the Earth grid. Now let's put it the map. Let's put the map right now. The map of Baker and Huygens of the Earth grid, developed in 1983. Now we are in 2025, so it's quite a long time ago, and this subject has been forgotten by mainstream science. I hear no one talking about it. Hopefully I'm here to talk about it again, because it can unlock many secrets. The key intersections of the grid align with major energy hotspots. So you can see on the map that the main hotspots are located at the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. And also we have one hotspot on the North Pole and one on the South Pole. And it aligns with the drawing of Leonardo da Vinci. So to start, let's review the main points together, the main hotspots, to have a clear idea of why these hotspots are located there and what happened there. So to start, the Mauna Kea in Hawaii. So it's a volcano. It's a sacred site worshipped as a god by the indigenous people of Hawaii. Ancient Polynesians believed it was the pathways to heaven. Scientists today recognize its unique energy, and it's home to some of the world's most advanced observatories right now. So this volcano has a very big significance for the people in Hawaii, and if you have the chance to go there, you can feel that it's very important in the culture there, and it's located not too far from the hotspot that we see on our map. Now let's look at our map, and let's go further east with the Bermuda Triangle. The infamous Bermuda Triangle, you probably know it already, where ships and airplanes mysteriously vanish. Electronic malfunctions, unexplained disappearance, and UFO sightings as well have been reported here. It is merely coincidence that this region sits on a major node of the Earth grid. So the Bermuda Triangle, very important location with magnetic disturbance and a lot of anomalies happening there that people never understand. People always have different theories. Is it the magnetic anomalies? Is it the weather? No one is not sure, but what we are sure today is that we know that it's on one of the hotspots of the grid that can help us to explain and find the reasons of all these happenings. Next one, if I move further east, we have a location in the Sahara Desert, and it's not too far from the Richat structure that we call the Eye of the Sahara. This stunning circular formation in the Sahara Desert remains a mystery. Some believe it's the lost city of Atlantis. This is the legend around it, while others suggest it was once an ancient volcanic dome. Strangely, this part of the Sahara is known for unexplained anomalies similar to the Bermuda Triangle. So, so this is the point here in this part of the Sahara. If I move further east on the map, we can see the city of Karachi in Pakistan, the capital city, a bustling metropolis that sits on the grid. Karachi's energetic influence might explain its rapid expansion and cultural impact in South Asia. So Karachi is located on this hotspot. And now if I move further east, which is very interesting to see, is that we have a region called the Dragon's Triangle in Japan. And it's very similar to the Bermuda Triangle. It's an area in a triangular shape where there are restrictions to travel. You can't navigate here freely because it's very dangerous with unpredictable weather, people disappearing, UFO sightings. I'm talking about a UFO sighting happening there in my book. Now, let's look at another hotspot. If we go south, so let's go to look at the hotspot on the Tropic of Capricorn. Yeah, right here. We have the Moai statues in Easter Islands. These statues are exactly there, near our hotspot. It's like the ancient civilizations knew about the energy there and built structure at this place. Now, another hotspot further east. We have one hotspot in the Atlantic Ocean here, near the city of Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo, the capital of Brazil. So now let's move to the next hotspot. It's a very curious one for me, and that really tells about what the grid teaches us, is the Sibebe rock in Eswatini, located near South Africa, and the hotspot is exactly located on this rock. And what's special about that rock? This is the second biggest rock of the world, one big rock of granite located there. So it's a tourist attraction. If you ever have the chance to go there, you can visit the rock in this country, Eswatini. And so now I will not go into details, but after we have a hotspot at the Wharton Basin next to Australia on the west part, and one around the region of New Caledonia. Now, I want to talk to you about some shocking facts for the intersections of the magnetic Earth grid. So the intersections, I added a red dot here for the one that I want to talk to you about, the Nazca lines in Peru. The famous Nazca lines in Peru are massive geoglyphs drawn into the desert. Some believe they were created by ancient civilizations tapping into Earth's energy grid, once again exactly on an intersection of our grid. Now, one which is very interesting is the Giza pyramids. The pyramids of Giza are exactly located as well on one of the intersections, and it's one of the biggest wonders in our world. Some say that they harvest Earth's natural energy, and that's why it's positioned here. That can explain why the pyramids are built there and not somewhere else, where they place here deliberately by an advanced ancient civilization. Now, something that we will look into detail later, but I put it on the map. Wentira. Wentira is not a real location. It's an astral city, so to say, said to exist in another dimension, but occasionally appear in our reality. Could the energy of the Earth grid thin the veil between worlds? So it's one of the research that I'm into. I noticed that in some places where magnetic anomalies with the grid, it can make the layer between our world, our dimension, and other world thinner. So it's some places that we can say are haunted are more there than in other places. Like if the layers of reality are thinner, or I will use the word glitch into other realities or realms. So we will look into it later for the kingdom of Wentira in central Sulawesi. So the next part, I want to talk to you about the UVG method and ley lines. UVG means unified vector geometry. Albert Einstein was one of the pioneers of unified vector geometry, which help us zoom into the Earth grid for precise locations. This method has been used to find ley lines. So I will put the map here of Colin Bloy, who used the UVG method. So the UVG method is same like the icosahedron. It's natural geometry happening, which is used today for computer science and quantum science, quantum physics, and mathematical calculations. UVG is used. So here is the map of Europe. You can see all the points and all the intersections, same like the magnetic Earth grid, but it's zoomed on a specific location, in this case, Europe. I marked some points that we will look together and see if there is a relation with religious sites and the grid with the UVG method. I put here the Sagrada Familia, an architectural wonder built in alignment with the grid, located in the city of Barcelona in Spain, with sacred geometry represented in the Sagrada Familia, which is one of the most beautiful and important church in Europe. Now, if we go further east, we have, for me, it's very impressive that the Vatican, the religious heart of Catholicism, is placed strategically on the grid. I think I have the idea that they knew that the Vatican was placed there on the grid, because how can it be exactly at the center of this map, of the UVG map? Like if the grid and the energy can also be useful for the people who made the Vatican and build the wonders there, but also maybe to spread ideas such as religion and enhance spiritual practices. And I added another example just to add something else with the Jasna Gora. Sorry if I say it wrong. This is in Poland, and it's one of Poland's most significant spiritual sites, located also on an intersection of the grid, right here. Because someone did the UVG map of Europe, I was curious and decided to do the same with the same mathematical calculations, do the same in Indonesia, in a big region of Indonesia. So let's look at it together. So this is my map. So the map that I did for the region of Indonesia to find answers about spiritual sites in the country, because Indonesia is a country rich in culture and mysticism. Let's start with Prambanan, not located on a dot, on an intersection, but located on a line. If a religious site is located on a line, in my opinion, the line of energy can help enhance spiritual practices, harvesting the natural energy of the earth. So Prambanan is a good example, with the main tower dedicated to Shiva, the god Shiva, at the middle, miraculously survive earthquake. And if you visit there, if you have the chance to visit the main tower, the energy of this place can be felt. It's a very good experience to visit this place that I did to study the grid. If we go further, so to the northeast of Prambanan, we have Mount Lawu. So Mount Lawu is in Indonesian Gunung Lawu, a place which is said to be haunted of, or with a powerful spiritual energy. Talking to the locals of this region, they all tell me that Mount Lawu is not the same like other mountains in the region. It has a spiritual significance. So for Mount Lawu, what's special about there? 4 ley lines intersect here, and temples are mysteriously located only on the northwest side, and the northwest side is the point, is our intersection. So if you go on a Google map, you go above the region of Mount Lawu and you just write temples. Almost all the temples will be located on the northwest part, exactly where our intersection is, which is for me a shocking fact, because it answers questions. It answers questions why they only built temples there, because maybe ancient civilizations felt the energy exactly on this part of the mountain and use this energy for their spiritual practices, their ritual. I'm putting an example. So one of the temples, here an image, the Cheto temple that I went to visit and feel the energy there, which is a huge temple. And what was really shocking when I went there is that to go there and make a temple this big, you really need motivation, because the place, I can tell you, is very hard to access. It's very high and difficult to access this part because it's very high and complicated to drive there. So just to drive, because we have cars now, but back then they didn't even have cars, and they had the motivation to build something that big in this place, which is amazing, and also tell us that they were very motivated. They had the fire burning in them to build it there. Now, let's come back to Wentira, the kingdom of Wentira, located in central Sulawesi. So I'm skipping Saranjana, but Saranjana is the same. So Wentira and Saranjana are said to be astral kingdoms. Haunted, you can call it haunted. Some people call it jinn kingdoms. And I heard that in some Islamic literature, jinn is not especially referred as something negative all the time. It's an interpretation that has been made after. But let's say by spirits. There is a full story about Saranjana, which is long, and I explained it in my book. If you want to know more about it, you can buy the book and read the story about it. But to make it quick, I will explain what it's all about. These places, when people go there, they find themselves in another world, another city which doesn't exist on any map, with advanced beings, sometimes golden gates, totally another world. And it's deep into the mysticism of Indonesia, these places, Saranjana and Wentira, on the map. I didn't put it on the map, but there is a similar place, which is Alas Purwo, which is a forest on the southeast part of Java Island. It's small, so you can't really see it on the map, but it's also crossed by a line, and it's one of the most haunted place in Indonesia. And what's funny, no, it's not really funny, but there has been projects of tourism in Alas Purwo, making new roads, but the projects always failed. Always something happened, like if the forest is protected by spirits that don't want the people to mess with it. And Alas Purwo means, if I remember well, the first forest. So it's a primary forest that has been there since very, very long time. And it's said to be protected by spirits, and people have their, if people want to go on the spiritual path, yogis are going to the Alas Purwo forest, meditate there, and live as an ascetic for a very long time. So this is a very important forest for Indonesia, and because of it's supposedly haunted, at least it's not dirty, it's not affected by pollution, which is a good thing at the end. Now, I want to talk to you quickly about the UFO connection and the grid. So many UFO sightings happen on the grid intersection. Is there a deeper extraterrestrial link? So I will answer about that question. I put on the map of Indonesia the Alor Island, because there has been a UFO case with beings coming out of the crafts on Alor Island, which is located not on an intersection, but on a line. Is there a UFO connection? I read some books that say that the UFOs can use, some type of UFOs of anti-gravity crafts can use the natural energy of the Earth and use these lines to travel and power their engine. That's what I heard about. So it's probably not for every crafts, every UFOs don't use this kind of thing, but it's a theory interesting to look into. So yeah, this is about the, so for the UFO connection, why so many UFO sightings appear on the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle next to Japan, where we have the hotspots. That's also a question that we can ask ourselves. Maybe they have a, it's easier for them to access these places because of the energy there. That's a possibility. Now, I want to make a call to action. Why I'm making this video. We've seen how the magnetic Earth grid connects sacred sites, natural wonders, and paranormal hotspots. But there's still so much more to discover. I want to encourage you to research this grid in your own region and use the UVG method to find ley lines near you. I've been to Bandung 2 months ago, and I met some spiritualists that are studying these kind of things. And when they saw the grid, they always did the links with the places near them, and they found even more answers. I want you to do the same thing for your region. And if you are in another region of the world, you can make the UVG map. You take the magnetic Earth grid by Baker and Huygens, you zoom it, you do the calculations for the UVG, easily accessible, and we can find more answers together. I did it for Indonesia, but you can do it for another region, and we can go together and find even more answers, which is amazing for the research. If you want a deeper dive, also, you can check out my book. If you follow me on social media, it's easier to find it, where I explore these topics even further. And of course, to finish this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. If you found this video valuable, let's keep uncovering the hidden truth of our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay open-minded, and keep exploring. Thank you.